Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for inviting me to share this, to share some information. My plan is to also attend the meeting this afternoon, your afternoon, my evening. So if you guys have questions that you think of until then, please feel free to let me know. But mostly my goal for right now is just to share with you some of the information that we've been, as the organizing committee has been putting together with regards to the IUSSI, the International Union for the Study of Social Insects Congress meeting in 2022. The plan is to meet in July 3rd to the 7th. The plan is to have both an online as well as an in-person option, which I have a feeling that you guys in Australia will have more opportunity to be in person than I will, but that's cool. We also have an email address, which I'll put up again later and is also available on our website. So I'm just going to run through a few of the things that we've kind of sorted out. There's actually more things that we've figured out already, but this is, I've recycled this from a previous conference, Brazil conference, when I talked about it as well. So we have a little bit more info, but I'll start with where is San Diego, because I don't want to assume that everybody knows where it is. So San Diego is on the west coast of the United States, just on the border here of the US and Mexico, which means they have exceptional Mexican food, exceptional food. And it's a very, very cool city. It's very, very laid back. It's got a lot of nice beaches. I'll talk a little bit more about the local flavor later. But what I will mention is that when flying in, we usually fly into to LAX. And from there, it's just a short flight to San Diego. There's but on the website, there will be a number of different hubs where you can fly into. So maybe you're not going to fly in from this part of the world. Maybe you'll fly in from a different part. And it gives you some additional information on how you can find some ground transportation as well. The conference is at the Convention Hotel, the Marriott Marquis. And we have a number of rooms set aside at a slightly discounted price for all of us. And the committee would like to strongly encourage anybody attending to please stay at the Convention Hotel because we need to fill up a certain number of rooms in order to get the price that we're getting. One of the benefits of staying at this place is that we're at the Gaslamp District. I've never been there, but it sounds amazing. It's basically just a bunch of shops and restaurants and pubs, and has a lot of color and fun, and it's supposed to be quite nice, and it's just right across the street. The registration rates are available. So these rates are listed in US dollars. So in-person rates are $675. It's a bit cheaper for students, bit cheaper if you're joining as a virtual member. We recognize that, so one of the things that I've been pressuring the society is what happens when, you know, like for me personally, I can't make any plans for July 2022 because I don't know if I'll be allowed to come back home after I leave to go to the US, right? So that's one of the reasons the registration rates are pushed back a little bit further. See, you know, we'll kind of see how things are going around the 31st of March. One of the things that we've added to the website since I put this talk together was that some information on COVID. Now, right now, if you watch the New York Times COVID data like I do, the US is a bright, dark red spot on the globe with COVID rates soaring. However, San Diego County is a light yellow spot within the country. So it's not spread throughout the whole country. It's, you know, there's a high vaccination rate in San Diego County, and we report some of those statistics there as well. We've got a variety of plenary speakers lined up from all parts of the world. You might notice that Australasia is missing. Again, I didn't really want to ask anybody from this part of the world, given that we're pretty restricted in our travel. And then we have a little bit more information on the plenary speakers. Raghavendra Gadekar from India has agreed to be our keynote speaker. And so a little bit more biography on the plenary speakers, as well as a link to their websites now available on our website for the Congress. Something to look forward to is on the second night is the 4th of July, which is Independence Day in the US. And I've heard the fireworks in San Diego are spectacular, and that the view of the fireworks from the Marriott Marquis located right here is pretty perfect to check out the fireworks. So the plan is to have the welcome reception on the roof of the Marriott so that we can watch the fireworks, and we'll bring in foods, and it's going to be awesome. Other things that we're putting together. So we're working on providing caregiver assistance. And what this means is that we're talking about different options for in-person childcare at the site, as well as the potential to provide some sort of financial aid for people that might be caregivers at the home, that might be attending virtually and could use a little bit of assistance, maybe with preparing meals, or getting a babysitter for a couple hours or something. So those are all things that we're considering, and there will be an option to opt into consideration for that during registration. We have a variety of different workshops that we're putting together. So we're currently applying for some funding from the USDA to have a pollination focused workshop. So the grant then would provide a variety of other amenities to help with the Congress as well. We have some workshops targeted on increasing and welcoming diversity, and as well as a number of workshops that are specifically focused for postgrads, postdocs, early careers, mixers, workshops on different themes that might be important for people that are earlier in their career stages. And I'll also highlight that virtually, the plan is to have some like specific hours of the day set aside where it's all happening online, so that everybody can enjoy the stuff online. And then as far as what will be streaming live, what will be recorded, etc., those details are still to come. At the site though, we'll have local artists, we'll have exhibits and vendors available. So I think right now we've lined up, like we did this a couple of years ago too. We found a tattoo artist who came to one of the entomological meetings and did tattoos of insects for people while they, were in between talks. So it's pretty cool. So when you fill out the registration form, we're going to have a number of like extra boxes that you can tick. Are you interested in, these mixers? Are you interested, or I don't know if that's gonna be on there, but are you interested in, being part of workshops on diversity? Are you interested in caregiver assistance? And so then we kind of put you into this category, and then we can kind of start sending emails directly to the people that are interested in them, so that we can get feedback from them and get a little bit more details, so that we can so that we don't really want to invest in something that's not going to work for what the people actually want at this point. So there will be extra numbers of questions when you go to register. As I mentioned, there's a lot of stuff to do in the area, and we have a number of we have a subcommittee who's put together a list of things to do in the local area. So you'll be able to go to this page and just scroll down, and you'll find links to different attractions. As I mentioned, the Gaslight district is right across the street from the meeting. It'll be accessible for dinners and hanging out in the evenings. It's generally safe. I mean, you still want to try to travel in groups, but it's a pretty friendly place. Some of the places that might not be in walking distance, but still fairly close: Balboa Park, San Diego Zoo, Old Town San Diego, SeaWorld, Belmont Park, Birch Aquarium, Torrey Pines Nature Reserve. And of course, there's beaches, and they're lovely. And the weather is going to be amazing. So some important dates to keep in mind. As these things pop up, we have a social media committee that's going to be posting some of these updates on our Twitter. Probably mostly on Twitter and Facebook. I can't imagine updates being posted on Instagram, but feel free to follow us on there too. Early January is when registration is going to open. The only reason it's not open right now is because, like I said, we have all of these other questions and categories. We want to make sure we capture all of that at the same time. February 14th is going to be the abstract deadline. The abstracts submission portal will be opening soon. I don't want to go into details about why it's not open yet, but it's awesome. The 31st of March is early bird registration deadline. 3rd of July is the start of the Congress. Keep in mind that the US is a day behind us, so Pick your travel plans appropriately. 4th of July, fireworks and welcome reception in the evening. 7th of July is the closing banquet at I believe it's at the Natural History Museum. And you're welcome to email us if you have any questions. And I'm happy to take any questions right now. Looks like I wrapped it up with a minute to go before your coffee break.
Excellent. Thank you, Jenny. Nice informative presentation on the conference that I hope to go to myself. Now, any questions for Jenny? I think Jenny's going to be around, so feel free to.
I've got a question.
Yeah.
Jenny, have you got a feel for other conferences that have been run within the US within the last 4 to 6 months? And like I think there was an entomology meeting that recently happened, or was about to happen. Have they been successful with regards to
yeah. So one of the people that's on our executive committee or planning committee attended in person the entomological meeting. And some of the feedback she's had was that the hybridness was a little bit weird about the whole thing. But she said being there in person was great. So I'm also a little nervous what the hybrid aspect is how that's gonna work out. But I mean, because we've been doing really well doing everything either online or in person, hybrid gets a little bit awkward. So yeah, so those details are going to be kind of flushed out a little bit more soon. But yeah, so the thing is it's about like if we want to try to sync things and have, people be able to participate during live talks versus just having time set aside for other things. Do you guys have an opinion on that? Do you have any? Because we're still trying to kind of map that out.
Not really. I was more concerned about like whether they've been successful in running face-to-face conferences, which it seems like they have.
Oh yeah, if the face-to-face has gone well.
But then in terms of hybrid, I guess it's just, I guess the issue is how you run questions and whether you have like a convener that's online versus a convener that's in person, maybe.
Yeah, and we have, so Burke and Associates are the people who are helping us organize it, and they've been running SICB, and apparently they've had some success at hybrid conferences. So we're kind of taking their lead on their recommendations. So I'm not concerned about, I think the in-person is going to go really well. I'm just convinced I'm not going to be allowed to go. So, so I'm also invested in the virtual component to see what that looks like. And currently they're kind of threatening to have the virtual component like that happy hour that, in the early morning in California, which is like our sleeping times. So I keep pushing, I've been pushing back on that as much as I can, but I'm not getting too far. So we'll see where that goes. Yeah. I would say if you can go in person, go in person. It'd be awesome.
Where's SICB this year?
Where's SICB this year?
That's normally a pretty big conference, like equivalent size to an IUSSI. So if they're not having problems running that, it should be fine.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks a lot, Jenny. Feel free to hang on. I'm going to get a coffee and see the next bunch of speakers